I just try to find a small empty space where I can scream something and go right in.
It's how he's lived his life, really. Just looking for small empty spaces to scream in.
Hello. Are you tired of these cold February days? Are you tired of just sitting around on your couch doing nothing? Well, I've got something slightly better than that. It's Dem Guys Podcast.
Hey, don't oversell it.
3 easy payments of $19.99. In one really complicated payment.
It's completely free, actually. Although the VIP lounge on the listenership does cost money to get into.
We should have one of those.
Yeah, we totally should. It's totally not a thing.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
Daughter, just draw that in.
Oh man.
You guys sound despondent.
It's this weather. It is not good. It is very bad weather here in the northeast of the United States.
How bad is it? Well, I guess we'll get there in a minute, huh?
Yeah.
Indeed, we will. Well, first, it's just the typical crew of guys this week. We've got Drew.
Hey.
We've got myself, which is Slash, and we got SnoShoe.
Hello.
Indeed. Yeah. So, we've got our questions at the end, as per usual. But in case you are thinking of a question or a question occurs to you during the podcast, we give you the email address at the beginning as a matter of convenience. And that's demguyspodcast@gmail.com.
We even spelled it for you, spelled DEMGUYSPODCAST@gmail.com as a matter of convenience for you.
Ah, we are such good product placement people.
3 easy payments.
We want to earn the easy payments.
Yes,
that
please
you make
mail your stamps to us.
Yeah.
For each email question you send.
Please consult a doctor before taking Dem Guys Podcast.
Yes, indeed. Possible side effects may include Twitter. Twitter is a possible side effect. We're at Dem Guys Podcast there as well.
At DEMGYSPODCAST.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, we were talking about the cold weather. It is very cold up here.
How cold is it?
I think yeah, that works. You can put that in now. We have one of those weather station things in our house that has the has a thing that you hang outside and has batteries in it, and then there's a station inside that has batteries in it, and they talk wirelessly to each other, so you can get inside and outside information, and it's got some sort of history. It keeps track of highs and lows and barometric pressures, and it does all this stuff, and there's like a 2-week learning period, and then it is supposedly able to give you local weather predictions on this device. But mainly I find it interesting the highs and the lows over the past 24-hour period, and there was one morning I woke up and it was like the low was -1 Fahrenheit, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Overnight, and at that point I think it was like 4 above 0. So it's like, yeah, it's been. In fact, they were calling. What did they say? I think it was for today. There was an instant frostbite advisory.
What?
You could actually get frostbite instantly and under the right conditions. You could, if you had exposed flesh, it could become frostbitten immediately upon stepping outside, which is scary as heck.
Yeah,
that's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
When you were telling your story about your weather communications, I don't know why, I just had this like cartoon pop up in my head where you've got like an indoor guy and an outdoor guy, right? And they're hanging in your windows. And the indoor guy is like, day 27. No signs of Bob. 27 days.
I was just picturing this really like giant device that looked like it was from the 90s, like not compact at all, just like all the bits of technology. I don't know.
Yeah, with tubes and
wires,
cathode rays, and
yeah.
I think that's all. That's how we imagine Slash's house.
Well, I've been to
It's
his house,
just
so I don't
steampunk.
imagine it. I know what it looks like.
Okay, that's how me and the listenership imagines it.
That works for me. So, Drew, you were talking about your car last episode about you got a loaner much better than the one that was in the mask.
How much better is it?
No,
Well,
Snow.
I
No.
don't
Go sit
have
in the
it
corner. Think about
Yeah.
what you just did.
I don't have the rental anymore.
Very good, very good.
I also don't have my car.
Uh-oh. Did they blow it up?
They told me that there was more damage than they originally realized, and that it is totaled.
Oh, snap.
No.
So I am now looking on Craigslist for new cars that are.
Oh, that'll be a
within-
fun experience, I'm sure.
Yeah. I found a couple that look pretty good, but I still have to like contact people and
Were either of those a
all
Ford
that good
Focus?
stuff. No.
Okay, just checking. I don't like those cars very much. Actually, I think we can work this in now. We got
Yeah.
a paragraph in the questions.
Paragraph. We got a paragraph.
Well, I just
Someone on the Whisper ship.
I snuck a W in there because this paragraph is from W33 Bailey, mentioning it was actually a late accent, but he said that apparently in the UK it's a normal thing. He says every car I can think of that is or has been available for sale in the UK has central locking where the button to lock the car is on the center console.
Yeah, that seems odd to me. It's always been on the like driver's left armrest
Right.
around here. So every car I've driven.
Which is
And
right
some-
next to the indicator. It makes too much sense. Why would
Which-
it be all
well-
the way over there?
Well, but the thing is, though, the thing to keep in mind is in the UK, the driver's seat's on the right side.
Then just
So-
switch it over. You just flip the car around.
Yeah.
Well, and
but maybe
I've-
there's some sort of philosophy where the button to lock the door should be on the driver's left. And so it would have to be in the center console in the UK
Oh,
to be on the driver's left.
It must be because statistically there's more left-handed people than right-handed. I get it now.
I was gonna mention that also. Most cars that I've been in, or a lot of cars I've been in anyway, also have a locking button on the passenger side door.
Well, yeah.
I guess you conserve
So-
buttons. That's what they're into over there. There's a button shortage, and they can't have a button on the left and the right. So they put
Ever since
one
the bombing
middle.
in World War II, they ran out. The button factories were hit the worst, and they haven't recovered yet.
It's that guy Joe with a wife and 3 kids who works in the button factory. He's going down.
Oh man.
So yeah, basically, I don't have a car now, and I'm not sure when I'm getting one. But yay for that fun rental car that I had for a little bit.
Here's a game for the
Yeah.
listenership. See if you can spot the seam right there.
There will be no seam.
It will be
The
seamless.
it was seamless last time. I am awesome at editing. Yeah, we had some sort of weird technical difficulties where we just Skype decided that we didn't need to hear each other anymore.
So we all three
And,
told different stories for about 3 minutes before we realized.
Yeah. And it's like, guys, hello? Yeah, so it was interesting, but hopefully you did not notice any kind of issue at all, because my editing skills are superb.
Oh, technology, you silly.
And you're
Yeah.
using a Linux.
I am using Linux, and Linux makes everything perfect.
It's because your computer has that 90s technology Drew was talking about, where it's got all the tinfoil and tubes sticking out of it.
I forgot to pump the bellows, and yeah.
Bellows.
I'll bet your 90s technology doesn't have that center locking thing.
No, exactly right. Yeah,
Yeah, put your
now
foil
I've got
helmets
the
on.
buttons where they're supposed to be.
Okay.
Well, I mean, speaking of my technology, I've actually just started within the last few days or so putting together my own little private mod pack for Minecraft.
How private?
Like only for me.
Oh.
I don't think it's something that I would be able to distribute as a pack, because I don't really feel like trying to get permission from all the different mod pack authors, and I don't think there'd really be any demand for it anyway.
Well, what do you... I had a question about that, I guess.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you that, like, you can't distribute mod packs? Like, you can't share mod packs because the authors don't allow it? I don't understand
Well,
that.
it's not that you can't. There's no technical restriction or even legal restriction or whatever to doing it. But I understand why, in the sort of societal aspect of it, why it's sort of an unwritten or rule that you just don't do that. Because the mod authors don't want, for one thing, some of the mods don't play nicely with each other, right? So if you've got a mod pack that causes issues, for example, the Attack of the B-Team mod pack, when you use Tinker's Construct in there, it ran into some crazy issues where you would try to access the smeltery UI. At least this happened for me. I don't know if it happened for anybody else, but I would try to access the smeltery UI and to see what I had in there, and it would be completely blank. There'd be no way that I could view what was actually in my smeltery. And it's a problem that only really seemed to happen for people when it was part of the B-Team mod pack, as opposed to on its own or as part of other mod packs. So from that perspective, I think mod authors they want to make sure they know what other mods are in the pack so that they can say compatibility issues and whatnot and try to work on those sorts of things.
Now, call me crazy, but I don't know, maybe it's just me. Wouldn't the API help the way the mods work together? I'm not very well versed on that kind of stuff, but...
So I would think that a mod API would actually allow the mods to interact together a little bit better, right, because they'd all be using the same interfaces. But I don't think it's going to change anything in the way that the community wants mod packs to be assembled. I still think authors are going to want people to request to include their mod into a mod pack. Just because I think a lot of times in a mod pack, the authors might not always get the recognition that they're supposed to get too. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm just gonna download and install, Crackpack, for instance, I might not have any idea who's behind each of the different mods. And, maybe those mod makers are okay with that. Or, maybe they just want to have, make sure you include a little note in some file somewhere, whatever the case may be. But I think it makes sense as to why they wouldn't want people to just, make mod packs and distribute them willy-nilly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I find it weird, because, by the same token, wouldn't Minecraft be like, hey... we don't want you to make a crappy mod and prove that our game sucks, Well, and yeah, that's true. And I think it's a credit to them that they don't do that. Agreed.
That they don't have this sort of philosophy, but they'd be well within their rights to say that. They've taken the approach of, I think there's something in the Minecraft code that actually detects if it's been modded somehow. I don't know how it does that, because I'm not that deep of a Java programmer to be able to make that call, but somehow it's able to detect, is this a modded copy of Minecraft? So if there's a crash report or something, it'll actually say in the crash report, this is a modded copy of Minecraft.
It's super easy, man. You just say if code equals and then paste all of the code, then one, else.
Yeah.
It's modded. Easy.
Yeah. Piece of cake.
I'm a programmer.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. But yeah, so yeah, I think that my what I like to call internally /pack, just because it sounds cool.
To yourself.
But I think that's gonna just be for me. But I mean, it's not, right now it's just a bare handful of stuff because I enjoy the vanilla game. And the problem that I've had with a lot of the mod packs I've played in the past. I did some Feed the Beast stuff, and I did there was something before Feed the Beast, wasn't there? Or Technic, I've done like that.
Yeah.
Those mod packs, and I did the crack pack for a little while with some of the guys from the server and from from Carnistera and a couple of other modded Minecrafts, and those ones that have the big mod packs that have a whole bunch of stuff in them. The problem I've had with them, with enjoying them, is that each mod tends to contribute a lot. Some of the mods, like thermal expansion, for instance, and Tinker's Construct, and the big mods that add a lot of functionality to the game, they tend to put a lot of stuff in there to try to either automate or make easier certain operations, right? So you'll have things in there to automate farming, where it's it'll automatically harvest and replant your crops and stuff like that, and you just gotta supply it with a power source or whatever. And Thaumcraft has similar things. It's got these golems that run around and they can harvest crops and replant crops, and so you'll end up in these big mod packs with 3 or 4 different mods that can all accomplish the same task. And I end up feeling fairly overwhelmed by it, and I end up mixing between the mods, which some people really like that because some mods are better at certain things than other mods are. So one mod might be really good at automatic farming, but transporting the items from the farm might be better suited to a separate mod kind of thing. So people like to be able to mix and match between them. I found that I actually prefer to try to stay within a single mod as much as possible. Like, if I'm doing Thaumcraft stuff, I don't want to have to integrate thermal expansion into it somehow.
See, I like that too, because what I hate about the mod packs is whenever you have, like, I don't know, I feel like every mod has its own, say, block breaker or something like that. And it's like, one mod's block breaker is seen as like God mode, right? Because if you have a block breaker, there's so many things you can do. So you have to do all of this building and basically working your way up to that block breaker. Whereas you may have another mod in your pack that's like, oh yeah, you just throw two pieces of iron together and you got a block breaker. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Okay, but my brain just doesn't understand that paradigm. It kind of, I don't know, takes away some of the motivation.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat. So I decided, my favorite mods that I've played with in the past, when I've played packs like, Attack of the B-Team and stuff like that, is and stuff like Tinker's Construct I really enjoy. I think that it's a great addition to the vanilla game. It just adds a few ores and gives you some additional tools and a cool new way of handling tool repair and breaking and all of that stuff. And I just think that mod makes a lot of sense and it complements the vanilla game. And then Thaumcraft has a lot of the really cool magical stuff in it, and I've always wanted the ability to do more sort of magic-related stuff in the game, because they've got enchanting, and that's about the extent of magical influence in the vanilla Minecraft world. Yeah. What's that?
Potions, too.
Potions, yeah. So, there's not a whole lot to it. I feel like, that's an element of the game that could be expanded upon, and I think Thaumcraft does that really well. And like I said, it's got a lot of mechanisms for automating stuff, like automating mining and automating farming and stuff like that. So I decided, those two mods are really the big ones. And then I added Thaumic Tinkerer as well, which just extends Thaumcraft a little bit because it's got some cool stuff in it. And then everything else that I've added has been little things. Like I added, I put not enough items in because I think you have to have that. Yeah. If you're playing with any mods at all, it's the only way to keep up with all the new recipes and stuff that gets added. And I just added fast leaf decay because I think that standing around waiting for the leaves to decay is one of the most boring things you can do in Minecraft. And so being able to speed that up is pretty cool too. Haven't added a mini-map yet. I haven't decided whether or not that's something that I feel I want in my game or not.
What about, what's the Biomes of Plenty?
You know what? I'm not a huge fan of having a whole bunch of different biomes. I'm happy with the vanilla biomes.
Interesting.
Now there are a couple of biomes that got added by either Tinkers or Thaumcraft, I noticed, because there was like, there's Thaumcraft adds this magical forest element,
right?
Where the biome and there's like a tainted area as well that kind of darkens, so those count as biomes as well. I think that's how they're implemented. But in terms of full-on biomes, I think there's been one or two added to the game by those mods. But for the most part, no, I don't like a whole bunch of different biomes because I don't feel that I need that many options. There's plenty of biomes in the vanilla game. Yeah. And typically adding all these biomes means, oh great, there's 20 more different varieties of wood.
Right.
I don't want to have to keep track of all that. There's enough different wood types in the game that, I'm happy. I can find, the other problem that I have whenever there's a whole bunch of options, is the inventory space is one thing. And then building stuff. If I have all of these additional blocks that I've never seen before, all thrown at me at once, I have no idea what to build things out of anymore. Like I'm building this tower to be my primary residence in this world, and so far I've just been building it out of cobblestone and oak planks. That's it. Yeah. Just because, for one thing, I know that eventually I can swap those blocks out really easy in Thaumcraft. There's a equal trade thing that lets you switch blocks back and forth. Without having to break them and replace them. But also because it's I don't need anything super complicated to start. I'm happy with just using some very vanilla looking blocks, and then once I have the structure in place, if I want to change it to look cooler, I can do that.
So it seems like you're going for kind of a non-overwhelming feel is your main,
exactly.
main goal there.
Yeah, and I'm not ruling out maybe adding some mods to it as I move forward, but I'm probably not going to add anything that does changes to terrain generation at this point. Yeah, there wasn't, Tinker's Construct and Thaumcraft both changed the terrain generation a bit. And I know there's some other mod, like the Biomes of Plenty would do that, obviously. And, there's some other mods that are involved there. And I don't think that I would change the terrain any more than I had to get those first two big ones in there. Like the fast leaf decay wasn't something that I had added initially, but I was getting annoyed by waiting around for saplings to fall. And I was like, I'm pretty sure there's a mod that makes these decay really fast. So I just threw that in. And that's sort of the way that it's been evolving. And I gotta say, it's surprisingly fun to put together my own pack of mods rather than just using one of the big ones that's out there. It requires its own launcher and all that stuff.
That seems like a very Slash thing to do. So
Yeah.
How do you know when you're ready to play? Like, how are you gonna have that defining point of, all right, I'm done, let's create a new world and we're gonna live in it?
Well, you know what? I decided to just start playing because I knew right off the bat I wanted Tinkers, I wanted Thaumcraft, I wanted Thaumic Tinkerer. Those were the big ones, right? And and the not enough items in there for utility purposes, and I think that was it. I think that's all I had in it, and I just started a new survival world. Like I didn't do any playing around, zooming around, look at what are all the features and whatnot, because I've played with pieces of these mods before, so I knew what they had, what they needed, that sort of thing, and I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to get into it and go, and if there's any other mod that catches my eye, as long as it's not something that's going to completely revolutionize the terrain gen, then maybe I'll add it later. But that was sort of my criteria. I want Tinkers and I want Thaumcraft, and then I'm going to start, and the only things that I will add to it from that point are things that aren't going to screw up the look of the world as I explore.
Right. So you're gonna...
That was my philosophy with it.
Is this already a series, or is it going to become a series, or...
I don't think it's actually gonna be on my channel, actually.
He's gonna live stream it.
Man, I would love to. I don't know what I have the bandwidth to live stream, and I've had success live streaming before, but for some reason I have not been able to find that spark to get that streaming working properly again. So, live streaming is something I'd love to do, but I haven't been able to get it to work.
It's tough.
But no, I think it's probably just going to be for me, which is one reason I brought it up on the podcast, because, the podcast is a place where we can talk about some things that you're not necessarily going to see on our own channels. Games that we're playing off camera and just stuff that we've been enjoying. So I just want to mention that I have a great amount of enjoyment with Tinker's Construct and Thaumcraft, and playing with them together in a homebrew mod pack has been a lot of fun.
Cool. So, I would like to mention, first of all, that, hi, I'm Drew, and I've successfully managed to install Optifine before.
Okay.
That's Drew's modding experience.
Yeah.
And I have a problem.
All of the talk of mods and stuff, though, reminded me, Dragon of Fate from the Carnus Terra server came out with a really cool series on his YouTube channel, which he doesn't post a lot of YouTube videos. But it's called Regrowth, and it's a Minecraft mod that actually adds some of the stuff I've talked about before. It actually adds like kind of a storyline and some quests and stuff. Basically, it's a Minecraft world you spawn into, and it's like everything is dead. Like there's like no plants or anything. It's just like all and like no water and everything. Everything's dried up. It's supposed to be kind of like a post-apocalyptic wasteland, and the whole point of it is there's like little side quests and stuff that eventually you will be able to make the world living again and actually like get plants to grow and all that. So
you said it's just a regular Minecraft map, or what is this?
It just it is just a survival, like create a new world and everything. But it's I guess it's a mod pack, and the series that he did is called Regrowth, and I assume that's the name of the mod pack.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's got stuff like, I know the hardcore questing mod is in there, and there's some other bits and bobs that are part of it as well. So there's different terrain gen and stuff. It's not just all vanilla Minecraft. I don't know how much is in the mod pack to make it do the things that it's doing, but it is a very cool concept. to be able to explore in Minecraft. And I've been noticing more and more, I don't know if I'm just noticing more of them or whether more mod pack makers are taking that sort of, adventure, somewhat adventure, somewhat complete the monument questing kind of, but like storyline track, because there was that Crash Landing mod pack.
There's been Crash Landing. There was what's the other ones? The one right before Crash Landing, I think.
The Material Energy thing.
There's Material Energy. What's the other one? Oh well, never mind.
It was like Stranded, or it was like one word, wasn't it? It was.
They've got a couple.
Yeah, but yeah, I've been noticing that the mod packs seem to be going more in that route these days. I guess that's the next avenue to explore creatively for these folks, rather than just slapping a bunch of semi-related mods together. Let's do something with them, and I think that the Quest mod has really done a lot to bolster that, because it seems like every one of these storyline mod packs includes that as a way of presenting the storyline of the game and providing clues on how to progress and all that stuff. The problem that I have with it, though, is I find the Quest book to be odd. I like the idea of here's a quest, here's the next thing to do, right? But I find it very strange that it's like, okay, you've successfully gotten charcoal out of this tree, have 6 apples. Like, from where? Like, I just, 6 apples fall out of the sky on my head because I happen to be reading a book that says, get some charcoal from the tree? Like, that part of it I find odd. Just the fact that you can get, any reward the mod maker could come up, or the map maker could come up with, just pops into your hand. That's odd. That breaks the immersion for me.
It'd be more fun. Well, maybe it's like these are messages you're getting. There's like some testificates in a like a
like a hot air balloon.
No,
just hovering overhead.
I was gonna say like an
orbit. An orbit.
Yeah, and like they're sending you messages to this like magical book.
Yeah, I like that concept. It's like, you are part of our cruel experiment.
It's
good
like
job.
Wally.
You figured out how to do this thing. Here, have some apples.
Agrarian Skies. I did that
now
thing.
Dance for us. That was it. Agrarian Skies. Yep. SnoShoe continuing the long, proud tradition of screaming out randomly during the podcast.
I just try to find this small, empty space where I can scream something and go right in.
It's how he's lived his life, really. Just looking for small, empty spaces to scream in.
Hey guys,
I don't walk into the office every morning until somebody stops talking, and then I just burst in. I'm here every day. It's great.
Potatoes.
Superfight.
Superfight. Perfect.
That already has an exclamation point at the end of it. It's perfect. So I actually, I'm super excited. How
excited are you?
I will punch you in the face over the internet.
Slash just cut that part out. It's like he never said it.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. I decided to check the Superfight website because I hadn't looked at it for a while. And it turns out since I got the game, they have actually both the base deck as well as all of the expansion decks that you can buy. They've actually expanded them. So there's more cards in all of them.
They've expanded the expansions?
Yes. So I ordered the add-on for the base deck. So originally I don't remember what the original account is, like 250 cards or something, and it gives you like another 100 cards. And then I bought the orange expansion pack, which is like the video game nerdy movies and books and like weird internet meme reference pack.
Excellent.
So I just wanted to mention some of the cards that are in there that I'm excited about. One of the attribute cards, and I think it's just the basic expansion. One of the attribute cards is riding a giant robotic blank, and then you choose another character card to be.
Oh wow!
And
so you could have like the Hulk riding a giant mechanical President Obama.
Yes, which I'm also really excited because well, not excited. I thought it was really funny because I paired that card up with one of the new character cards, which is Helen Keller.
Oh gosh.
Oh my.
So I was thinking driving a giant robotic Helen Keller.
Nice.
Um,
Sounds
I know-
dangerous.
I'm also really excited because two more of the new cards from the base deck are one is a swarm of killer bees, and then one of the attribute cards that you could potentially get with swarm of killer bees has a beard made out of bees.
Yes, that was. I'll make this my recommended video. That was actually on the Minecraft playthrough of Superfight. It's on Good's channel if you want to watch it. It's about an hour.
Oh, yeah, I haven't watched that yet.
It's like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
That's
But
pretty
Drew
funny.
set
Yeah,
the-
so a swarm of bees with beards made of bees.
Yes.
That's scary as heck. I'm just gonna run away.
See, I think they had a swarm of, who was it? Someone had a swarm of bee beards.
So
that was
someone
fighting-
had bees on their beard. Or
Bees on their
a
beard that
made
was
of-
fighting
yeah.
100 Miley Cyruses, where everything they touched turned to hummus.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was. I think that was beef versus.
Or alien, I think.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's pretty hilarious. I think Drew set the trend on that, though. You got first dibs on telling about Superfight, and that was like PAX East when you guys were talking about it, I think.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
I was really amped about whenever I saw that the Minecrackers had played Superfight together, and then I forgot to watch the video. I got to go watch the video of that.
You should. It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah. The Buffalo Wizards have been playing it in Tabletop Simulator as well, and
Oh, gosh.
I got really excited about it. So I'm thinking, because there are still a lot of people out there who haven't heard of this game, I'm thinking about putting or like making a video on my channel about it and actually like explaining how the game works and stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to mention in the nerd pack, it has, like I said, it has all sorts of stuff. So it has like tons of video game characters, but it does have a couple of internet memes. One of them, at least, I don't even remember what it was, but there's at least one card in there I remember that I'm like, I've never heard of this, and I had to Google it, and it was very weird. But no, one of the cards is, for a character card, it is pick an internet cat.
Ooh. I could get my fiance
I don't know
on
if I
that.
could
She
even
can-
name more than like 2 internet cats. I mean, there's Piano Cat, right? And there's
Keyboard
Grumpy
cat is what his name is.
Keyboard Cat, right.
I always think of the Sail Cat.
Sail cat,
Sail
Grumpy
Cat. Oh, I
cat,
vaguely-
Lil Bub,
yeah.
Surprise Kitty.
Wow. Snowshoe's on it.
I
Yeah.
am.
I got this locked in.
That is my girlfriend's favorite thing is internet cats.
Ah, I gotcha.
So
She's gone.
anyway, yeah, I'm very excited to play with these, whatever it is. Like, it's over 200 new cards that I have, so.
Very cool.
All right, well, moving on.
I was going to see if anybody would make the transition for me because I couldn't think of one. But if you guys noticed, today is December. Yes, it's December. We've gone
I
back in
hadn't
time.
noticed that today is December. No.
You guys are very unobservant, but if you have observed, today is February 16th. The Academy Awards.
It's the 18th. It's actually the 18th.
For
Snow.
us, I was talking to you
Because
guys. I
it's-
wasn't talking to the
because it's
listenership.
Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday. Okay.
Yes.
So if it's Wednesday, and 2 days ago was Monday the 16th, and
Yes.
the day before that was the 15th, and 7 days
I'm with
from
you.
that is the 22nd. I believe
Yes.
the 22nd is what day the Academy Awards are on, I think.
Ah,
And
that could be. Yeah.
if you guys remember my segment from last year around this time, we have an annual tradition. Yes, it is February 22nd. We have an annual tradition of trying to watch all of the Academy Award nominated Best Picture movies, whatever.
Aha.
So we
for
have-
half a second, I thought you were saying the podcast has an annual tradition. I'm like, when did this happen?
No,
Nobody
we
told
in
me.
my household.
Okay.
Yep.
Me and my cat.
All right. So run down the list for us, Snow, because I did not look at the nominees this year.
Okay, so it's kind of a I guess a docudrama. I don't know what the actual term for that is. Nonfiction riddled field here because we've got Selma, the movie about Martin Luther King Jr. We've got The Theory of Everything, which is the movie about Stephen Hawking. We've got The Imitation Game, which is the movie about Alan Turing. We have American Sniper, which is the movie about Chris Kyle, one of the best snipers in American history. Hotly debated, I guess we'll say it that way. And then we have movies like Whiplash, I don't think that's a nonfiction. Movie about a sadistic music teacher, basically. We have Birdman, which is a movie about a Birdman. I haven't seen that one yet, so that's about as far as I got there.
Sounds weird to me.
I'm kind of excited for that one. I will let you guys know about my review after I see it. We have the Grand... So I guess it's split 4 and 4, actually. Nonfiction and fiction. Grand Budapest Hotel, which is a very whimsical movie about a guy that manages a hotel. I don't know. It's one of those, like, avant-garde type, funny, crazy, quirky movies. What else? Which ones have I not said? I think the only one I've left... I said Whiplash. The only one I've left is Boyhood. Oh, Boyhood, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what to say about this movie. Actually, I do. It was 3 hours long.
Ay, caramba.
And I feel like the only reason it was nominated... Let me save you the time. You should probably not go see it unless you're really just dying to see all the Academy Award movies. The only reason it's nominated is because it took 14 years to make or whatever it was. So, basically, they go through this kid's life and you watch him grow up. He obviously starts as a probably 7-year-old or something like that, and he ends up as a 18-year-old or something. So, I mean, it's still the same actor, and he ages in real life as he ages in the movie, and so do the other characters like Ethan Hawke and Patricia Arquette. But, I mean, the movie's message is just like, hey, check out life. It's like, okay, there's no protagonist. I mean, you have the main character, which is the boy, but there's, I mean, a couple things happen, but it's really like if I asked you to give me the story of your life and then make a movie about it, that's what this movie is. It's like all of our lives are kind of, we don't have a secret agent spy running around murdering panda bears or something that is super exciting. No, we just kind of have like day-to-day life. And that's what the movie's about. And it's 3 hours of it.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
I watched it when I was in a very good mood, so it didn't bother me too much, but I can't say I'd recommend it.
It's go ahead, Drew.
I was just gonna say I haven't even seen any of the movies on this list. Although there are a couple that I wanted to see. But like some of these I haven't even heard of, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like there were better movies.
Well,
it's pretty typical though for this particular award show, isn't it? Because isn't this like the Hollywood Foreign Press or whatever?
The Hollywood Foreign Press. I don't even know.
Isn't that this one? It's one of them. I think it's because this is the Oscars, right? As opposed to the Emmys.
It's the Academy.
I think it's the Yeah, So I think it's the. Well, maybe I don't know.
This is the big
these award shows tend to have a lot of screwy stuff nominated anyway.
Well, I mean, I will say I think all of the movies I've seen so far are good, except for Boyhood. It's one of those that's like a very reflective movie, mostly because you're sitting there for 3 hours thinking, why am I watching this movie? So in that way, you're rethinking
your life. How did my life come to this point that I'm watching this movie?
Now I have to write this into my own autobiographical movie that I watched this movie because it took up so much of it.
2 decades long.
The Selma was the first one I saw. Selma was very good. I'd recommend that. It's a fantastic movie. Probably not my favorite. My favorite so far has been American Sniper, but that's, I don't know, I'm a big military movie person. I haven't seen Whiplash, Birdman, Imitation Game, or The Theory of Everything yet.
Now, real quick, I don't know if this was a nominee in its particular year or not, but you talking about Boyhood made me think of the wife and I were looking for something to watch on Netflix the other day as we had finished Supernatural, and so we were just trolling around, and she found some website that was like the top 10 movies available on Netflix streaming right now, one of which was Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Right?
Yes.
So we're like, oh, we've heard about this. Yeah, this, what's this about again? It's like, oh, it's, intrigue with the British intelligence and, all this sort of stuff. And it's got Gary Oldman in it. And, oh, that sounds pretty cool. Let's go check this out. And so we tuned into it and we watched the first 30 to 40 minutes. And then we were like, why are we with a guy in a school and he's talking to a kid out? What is happening right now? Never mind. Let's watch something else. And I think we watched the ventriloquist Jeff Dunham instead, one of his specials. But it was like, oh my gosh, the pacing on that movie was so slow.
Yeah, that was...
I've been told that it's very good, but you have to go into it being aware of what it is you're going into. Like, you can't be looking for a spy movie.
Well, that's weird because, you know,
which is the way they bill it.
it's got spy in the title.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it was nominated for 3 Academy Awards: Best Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Original Score. Did not win any of them.
Ah, well, there you go.
But Jeff Dunham, on the other hand, he's won multiple awards.
Yeah, indeed he has. Yeah, he's got a Tony, a Grammy.
Does he? I bet he does.
People's Choice. I don't know.
I bet he's got something.
Probably
Probably
he
not
won
Tony.
Employee of the Month.
On Hulu, they had a thing. It was like you could vote for all the different categories and say like, oh, this is what I think was the best and that one and everything. And like I said, I haven't seen any of these, and most of the movies on the list I haven't seen. It was like the few superhero movies. So like they had X-Men and like Guardians of the Galaxy and whatever other like the Avengers series. And then they had like 1 or 2 other things that I had seen. Most of them I hadn't seen. But I went through, and unless I got to a list that I literally didn't know anything about any of them, I went ahead and voted anyway. And so I was like, well, like, so looking at the best movie, I'm like, well, I haven't seen American Sniper, but I really, really want to, and I've heard it's good. So I'll vote for that. And stuff like that. And I'm like, well, I haven't seen any of these, but I know the soundtrack for Interstellar was supposed to be really good, and it's by Hans Zimmer, and I know he does good music, so I'll vote for that.
And that's, ladies and gentlemen, how our political system works.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. I was like, this is perfectly fine, Drew, because that's how voting in America is supposed to work.
Yeah.
I take actual government voting much more seriously, but yeah.
Well, at least you do.
I don't, but because I don't have to. My wife does pretty much all the research for me and just lets me know who we should be voting for.
So she has 2 votes. She matters more than 90% of the Americans out there.
That is absolutely correct.
There you go.
Yeah.
You better explain to her who the other 10% are.
All the dead people that vote, probably.
Oh, that just paused awkwardly.
The transition was there and then it didn't happen. Oh, it wasn't because it was a transition. It was because I was going to say American Sniper. Speaking of awkwardly transition, American Sniper. No spoilers here, but at the very end, that sounds great.
This sounds like a spoiler.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, so the movie ends and they roll the credits. Now the credits, the way the credits happen in the movie, they keep the lights down because they're playing a scene during the credits. And they're showing the main credits, you know, like Clint Eastwood and Bradley Cooper and everything. And they're showing a scene, and then the movie just ends, right? So they have credits rolling, but it's just a black screen, white text, no sound. And so I just want to say that was, we saw it on Friday. That was like the most awkward movie experience of my life. A full theater standing up and filing out of the movie theater and just dead silence, just walking out to credits. It was the weirdest thing.
Were people even talking to each other?
Well, I mean, it was kind of like nobody wanted to talk.
Okay.
It was like everybody was moved to silence.
Right. I mean, it's
I guess.
very obviously a very emotional movie, right? It deals a lot with PTSD and stuff like that. Just, it's a war movie. A lot of them do.
Right.
And so it kind of hits you in different ways that you may or may not have expected, but it's definitely an emotional movie. And so, you know, you're not like, hey man, that was a great movie at the end of it. You're just kind of like collecting your emotions, and that's kind of what everybody was doing. We were just filing out. It was like, I don't know, it was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, it sounds really awkward.
And I don't know what to do in those awkward situations. I just wanted to be like, man, great movie, guys, huh? And then just run out. I don't know.
Again, in typical SnoShoe fashion.
Yeah, I felt like I needed to cut the awkwardness, but I couldn't do it. But anyway, so I guess we're gonna finish that hopefully. 8 movies, we've got 4 down. We have a week to watch the other 4, but Whiplash doesn't come out on DVD and it's not in theaters, so I don't know. We may have to do some illegal hanky-panky to get that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's always pirating.
Yeah, which we do not condone unless it's avoid the listenership, in which case pirates are welcome.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But with that, I think one of the reasons that we're behind, we're always behind. We don't ever finish all of them, but maybe we will this year. But we spent a good 2 or 3 nights watching. I started over on Broadchurch and watched the whole thing with my fiance because I got her very interested in it. We watched, I think I was 3 episodes in. We watched the first 3 episodes, and then I think we spread the next, I think it's 5 episodes after that over the next 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, fantastic series. One of my favorite series I've ever watched. On Netflix. It's kind of hard to say because it's I think it's 8 episodes. So it's like, it's not a long running thing. So it's hard to say it's your favorite, but it was fantastic and I loved it. And I think David Tennant is really good.
David Tennant is really good. I thoroughly enjoy David Tennant's work. My wife was watching some of Broadchurch. She might even be watching it right now. To be honest, I think she was watching it last time we recorded.
You'll know if you can hear the incoherent Scottish accent.
Yeah. But I think the problem that she had going into it was that she had seen Grace Point first.
Yeah.
I think that kind of ruins Broadchurch. I think if you haven't experienced Grace Point, you probably can appreciate Broadchurch more, is my guess.
I saw the trailer for Grace Point, and it did not look good. Like, it was like, I want to watch it for David Tennant, but it looks so boring.
If you want to watch it for David Tennant, just go watch Broadchurch. It wasn't boring. It was good.
I would also actually recommend for David Tennant. He doesn't have the most prominent part in it, but it's a very funny, very good movie. It's called The Decoy Bride.
I did see it.
It's a bit of a romantic comedy. So
yeah, I did see it, and I got made fun of because I told them I was telling my sister because like I've watched like Pride and Prejudice and some other more like chick flicks with my sister. And I told her, I'm like, I actually watched a romantic comedy without you, which I said, like, you would like it. I'm recommending it to you. But I watched it without you, and pretty much the main reason was because of David Tennant. My friends were like, oh, you have a man crush.
That's what friends
He's
are for.
hilarious, though. He's absolutely hilarious, that man. And I thought he did a very good job. He and the lead... the female protagonist of the movie, the chemistry that those two had on screen was just absolutely fantastic.
Now, Drew,
they were hysterical, sniping at each other because they're both Scottish.
Yeah,
you know, so they're both throwing these barbs back and forth at each other, and it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
How did you watch said movie?
Netflix.
On Netflix.
Netflix, huh?
Yep.
It seems to have a lot of quality shows, huh?
Sure.
Yeah.
Huh?
And okay. This week, I found out about Sling TV. Have you guys heard of Sling TV?
No, but
I've
it sounds like
heard
you're
about
about to
it.
give some really bad news.
Does it?
You
It's
sound all
very
depressed.
bittersweet to me. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know. I can't even I can't compare it to anything. I haven't experienced this in my life before. Because Sling TV may be the thing that gets me to cut the cable cord.
Really?
I think so. We're going to try it out. It's a 7-day free trial. I'll explain it here. And after my recent customer service nightmare with Cox, by them attempting to charge me $60, they actually charged me for it. On my bill, $60 for coming out to my house and not knowing what a cable card was. Yeah.
Right.
So, Sling TV, though, is a TV service that I think came out at the end of January. So it's very new, very in the initial stages. But the main thing that's keeping me from cutting the cord is sporting channels. So I can't handle not having, because I have season tickets to Oklahoma City Thunder games, and like, I don't know, we're huge college sports fans and everything. So I have to be able to see college sports and pro sports. And there's no way to do that if you don't have cable. Until Sling TV. I'm a proponent of it now, and I haven't even tried it out. But basically, it's $20 a month. And let me just read I think these are the main channels here. We've got ESPN, TNT, TBS, Food Network, HGTV, Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, and others, including Disney Channel, ABC Family, CNN. I think that's a Spanish channel that I don't watch. Travel Channel.
There are Spanish channels you do watch?
Plenty, Drew. I'm very cultured, okay? But, I mean, just looking at the lineup, it's like, man, that's really all of the channels I watch. Except stinking Fox Sports Network. Screw you, Fox Sports Network. Be on Sling TV. That's the one thing really holding me back from Sling TV. But $20 a month. Okay, right now, me for TV, to get, I basically pay as little as I can to still get ESPN, and I think we pay about $95 a month for cable.
Wow.
Which is,
Wow.
yeah, it's insane, and I don't want to get too started on that. But to cut that down to $20 a month, plus they even have $5 a month packages, right? And you're like, oh, great, now just like another cable company to add
Like
on
a
packages.
loot crate?
Huh?
Like a loot crate?
No, not a crate, a package. Like, great.
I'm making a joke.
Oh, I'm sorry. $5 a month for a Loot Crate channel package, something. So, for example, we have the Sports Extra package that has, like, ESPNU, the SEC Network, ESPN News, and, like, there's all these channels that I don't even have on cable for just an extra $5 a month, or they have kids channels like Disney Junior and Disney XD and all that random stuff. And then other, I don't know, you can check out the cable lineups or whatever. But I don't know, I'm almost sold on it. Now, I think I found a workaround for Fox Sports. If you know somebody that has cable, you can use their login to get Fox Sports Go and watch your Fox Sports things that way. But
Right.
I'd probably do $25 a month, and there may be fees or something, so we'll call it $30. To save $65 a month and just have the inconvenience of learning a new system, I think it may be worth cutting the cord. But I'm so conflicted.
I think it sounds like it.
$60 a month. What can I do with 60? That's a game.
That's a video game, yeah.
Yeah, that's a AAA title.
Every month. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good arrangement for you. I mean, on my end of it, we've got our cable package down as low as it can go as well. But I think, because it's bundled with the internet, so, I mean, we're paying the least amount that we possibly could, and we still get, the regular broadcast channels and ESPN and stuff, so it's...
You get that with the lowest?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I have to go up 3 tiers to
get
ESPN.
Yeah, we were surprised, too, that we still got ESPN, but no, we're on the lowest possible TV package, and it's actually... And this is dumb, because it was the same with Comcast years ago, whenever they were the TV provider we used, but it's cheaper to pay for the lowest TV package plus the lowest internet package than it is to just pay for the lowest internet package.
Yikes.
That's what
Which
we
doesn't
found
make
out.
any sense to me at all. But, if it were cheaper to drop TV altogether and add Slingbox, or Sling TV or whatever, I mean, that I think I would do. But it's, it doesn't fit my scenario, but it sounds like it's a great deal for you.
Yeah.
You'll have to let us know once you've tried it out, next podcast.
Yeah, I definitely will try it out next podcast.
Give us the review.
Because I want to, currently the NBA is on break, but I want to try it out whenever the NBA is in full swing to see how it's going to work with my Fox Sports business. But I think for a lot of people, this is going to be, I don't know if it's going to be this service, but not to mention this is available on apps, right? So you don't have to, I don't know, it's a monthly subscription, but you don't have to have a box. So you can have, like, I have an LG Smart TV that has an app you can download, and that has the Sling TV app. So you can use it.
That's very cool.
Yeah, you can use it there. You can use it on Roku. You can use it on Amazon Fire TV. I think they're working on Apple TV and maybe Chromecast. I don't know about Chromecast. But yeah, I think this is at the very least, going to spur a lot of competitors to be able to do the same thing using the same business model and hopefully drive out the cable companies that we all hate.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, I'm all for that.
A second option that my dad so aptly put to me today was that the cable companies are just basically going to drive them out of business by forcing the hand of these channels that are submitting to Sling TV by saying, nope, you don't get to be on cable anymore. They're going to be like, okay, well, we won't be on Sling TV, fine. Because there's going to be so many...
You know what, though?
Good.
I think we're getting close to the tipping point, though, on this sort of thing, because there are plenty of the younger generation that they don't want a cable company anymore. They want this more on-demand kind of, and a la carte kind of stuff.
Right.
So, I think that the point is coming in our lifetimes where the standard cable company is no longer going to exist.
Is this going to be something we tell our grandkids about? Like, I remember when we had to plug the TV into the wall.
Yeah. I really think it is. I think it's going to be a situation where the standard cable company is going to go out and everything is going to come down to, the only utility you really pay for entertainment-wise is an internet service provider.
Yeah.
And then everything comes over that wire.
And that's a whole nother argument to get into.
Yeah, so...
Interesting.
Yeah, that's my prediction.
I think you're probably about right. And hopefully, we'll see, but I think this is one of the very first steps. I don't know, a lot of people think of it as revolutionary. They're actually calling it, I guess they break them into to two categories. You have the cable cutters, or the cord cutters, whatever it is, which is what Slash is. Somebody who's had cable for a while and then decides they don't need it anymore because it's costing them a ridiculous amount of money per month. And then you have people called cable nevers, which are somebody like Drew my age.
Yeah.
Which is somebody who's recently moved out on their own, realizes how much cable is per month, and then just never has it.
Oh, we've just never had it in our house. I still live with my parents.
Oh. So you're cable never.
Yeah.
Just not in the traditional sense. But yeah, so they have a target market, and I mean that target market is only going to get bigger as more and more cable cutters and cable nevers come out. I don't know. I'm excited. I think it's going to be good.
Okay.
Question time, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! Question time!
I have already stated the first part of question number A, part I, which is the only part.
SnoShoe has a hard time with Roman numerals.
Yeah.
This whole outline format in the agenda keeps throwing him off when we get to the question.
It's very confusing here. So Bailey talked about the car having the lock-unlock button on the middle console, which is weird. Apparently it happens in the UK. But he asks a camel question. I don't even know if that's a thing. Camel? Back? A question on the back of the last statement? What is the strangest experience you've ever had with a car? And or the strangest thing you have ever seen on a car? He says his would have to be moving his grandparents' car. It's an automatic and he's only ever driven manual. Where's the clutch? Felt so unnatural to him. Thank you for that expository piece.
I remember my wife and I were on vacation. I think my oldest was born, so I think it must have been like the 09 trip down to Florida. But we got a rental car, and it was a Prius, and it was the first time I had ever driven a hybrid. And I literally I don't know if you've ever driven a Prius or been in a Prius,
yes.
But the key thing it's not a real key, it's like a key fob, and it just went in like a slot, and like you press a button to turn it on, and it, like you don't hear vroom, like it's just beep, and everything lights up, and it's like driving a freaking video game. I was expecting like a heads up display with like incoming rocket on this side and all that sort of stuff, and that was the first time that I had ever driven an automobile like that, and I remember. Because when you got it from the rental company, it has a full tank of gas. And they say when you return it, you have to make sure you return it with a full tank of gas, or we'll charge you basically the most expensive per gallon rate that we can find in the area to refill the car, right?
We looked outside and it's $9 a gallon. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Exactly. So we drove it around a little bit. We didn't need it for much because it was just the first part of the trip before we got on Disney property. I think we hit like the San Diego Zoo or something as part of this trip. I don't even remember at this point. But once we got on Disney property, we didn't need it anymore. And so I returned it to the rental company. And because it was the first time driving a hybrid and we didn't use it very much, I was shocked to find that the fuel gauge never went down.
Yes.
It was still on full when I returned the car. And I actually took a picture of that gauge with my phone in case for some reason they were like, you didn't stop anywhere to fill it up. I'm like, but I didn't need to, man. It's full. It hasn't burned any gas at all. So
yes.
that was the weirdest experience I ever had.
We actually own a Prius and it's fantastic. Let me tell you, on the money we spend on cable, we're saving it on gas. But I guess that's probably the weirdest experience I've had with a car is probably also with the Prius, negating my terrible Ford Focus experience that every time you accelerate, it feels like you're on a roller coaster. But the Prius has this really weird, I don't know, the acceleration on the Prius, obviously it goes from battery to engine smoothly, I guess, unless you put it in power mode, which is an experience all in and of itself. But you basically floor the thing just to go from a red light to a green light. Just you're going on a 40-mile-an-hour road, and you're basically flooring it just to keep up with traffic so people don't honk at you. And
Whee!
yeah, it's like driving a golf cart unless you throw it in power mode. Now, our Prius is new enough to where if you push it down hard enough, it automatically goes into power mode. But, yeah, those, I don't know. It's weird, but you kind of get used to it, and 50 miles a gallon ain't bad.
No.
That's true. That is true.
Not at all.
I've got a Honda Insight, which it's got the same basic body shape as the Prius. And it's a hybrid. It's a different style hybrid. It doesn't have two separate motors. It's got sort of like a super starter that is attached to the typical internal combustion engine. And so they call it integrated motor assist, where this like amped up starter runs off the battery and provides extra oomph to the internal combustion engine. So I guess the philosophy there was they just used a more efficient, lower power gas engine and then added some electrical boost to it for whenever you needed it. So that's an odd experience as well, because it has an auto stop feature where when you are coming to a stop, you get below like 10 miles an hour as you're coming up to your stop, the engine actually just shuts off.
That's terrifying.
And it flashes like it flashes like auto stop down in the corner so that you know you haven't just stalled. But then when you take your foot off the brake, it starts back up again, and that's an awkward transition sometimes if you're trying to get out of the gate relatively quickly for whatever reason. It's odd trying to give it some gas while the engine's actually still trying to start back up.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's a fantastic car.
I think my dad's car.
I've been getting I've been getting really good gas mileage with it too. So any complaint that you might have about a hybrid vanishes as soon as you realize you're not filling it up anywhere near as often as you filled up your traditional car.
Yep.
What about you, Drew? What's the weirdest experience you've had with a car?
I haven't had a whole lot of weird experiences, so I'm gonna tell a secondhand story. My friends told me this. Funny enough, it's actually also about a Prius. They, because it says strangest thing you have seen on a car was part of the question, and
yes.
My friends told me, and I it could be slightly wrong, the way I'm remembering it, but if I remember correctly, my friend saw a Prius driving down the road, but someone had removed the Toyota symbol on the front of the car and put a Ferrari badge on it. And it's just I don't think you're fooling anyone.
No. What would be great is if they put a Ferrari engine in the Prius and it just blows down the road at 170 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's a car mod I can get behind.
That would be fantastic. All the while getting 55 miles to the gallon. Maybe not.
Well, that would be very impressive. Oh, man.
Question letter B from Sarah JMCB says,
nice.
Subpart I, which is the only part of this question. If Dem Guys became a movie, what actors would you want to play each of you?
Well, when I was younger, I was always told, and I can't remember which one it was, but in Back to the Future, I think they said Marty McFly, so Michael J. Fox. They said that I looked like him, or he looked like me. So, because that was the original, no. But that's the first name that came to mind. Now, I have a big beard now.
Yeah.
So, I don't think that resemblance is really there anymore. So, I'm not sure. I mean, because naturally I'm trying to think of a celebrity, an actor who actually would resemble me.
Yeah, I don't think Michael J. Fox would do too great of a job.
No, unfortunately not. But, I can't think of anybody that really looks like me in Hollywood either. I was going to try one of those, websites that you upload a picture to and it tells you what celebrity you most look like, but I forgot to do it ahead of time.
I think you should
My
be Hugh Jackman.
computer's been so squirrely that... Hugh Jackman, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I could get behind having Hugh Jackman play me. What about you guys?
Well, when I was younger, I had one friend, nobody else agreed with him. I didn't agree with him, and nobody else did. But I had one friend when I was younger who insisted that I looked exactly like Orlando Bloom. And
I kind of see that.
How? I look nothing like him.
I feel like you guys both have similar beard and eye styles.
This was also when I was 12.
He saw the future. He saw potential in you to look like Orlando Bloom.
And then I have friends now who say that I look like Bono, which I don't see it, but I've had multiple people tell me that.
Interesting.
But,
That's kind of a funkier one. Bono, is he an actor? Has he been in movies?
I don't know. But if I was just going to be like, hey, get this person to play me, because I think it'd be cool or something, I'd probably get someone with like a really cool accent, like Carl Urban or Sam Worthington.
There you go. Carl Urban's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let's see.
What about you, SnoShoe? You're the final holdout.
I guess when I was younger, I was told I looked like Frankie Muniz, which I didn't ever really take as a compliment.
I don't think it was ever intended as one.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Now that I've gotten older, the only person I've ever been compared to...
I look like an old Frankie Muniz.
No, I hope not. He still looks the same. The only person I've been compared to is Dave Franco. I don't know if you know who that is. He's in movies recently. But supposedly I look exactly like Dave Franco.
I can kind of see that.
I've been told that by about 5 people, which is really weird to me. But I don't know. I don't really want him to play me because I feel like he's a complete idiot.
I can also see how Dave Franco and Frankie Muniz look slightly like have similar facial characteristics.
Dang it. Well, I guess there's your answer. Apparently it works.
I can tell you I know who would play my one friend if there was, or if this was a movie about us. Eric, who was originally going to be part of Dem Guys, he looks like Zac Efron, and everybody says that. So,
yeah, there you go. That's pretty funny. He would have to be cast in the history of the podcast. He would have to be a minor character.
The fallen soldier.
Yeah,
we walk by his grave at the beginning of the movie, and that's why we do everything is because of him.
I'm sorry, this is not relevant to the question at all, but I have to mention, because I think we talked about it on the podcast, the oatmeal video from PAX East almost a year ago.
Yes.
We found out the file was corrupted, and so we can't put it on the internet because it's just gone.
Oh,
it's so frustrating. I wanted to rewatch that. That was a great moment in PAX East that we will never get to share with the people in the internet.
Well, now it's a secret treasure that you and I can cherish.
You know, you remember it
that
better
just sounded really weird.
Yes, it did. That was intentional.
Okay, I'm going to intentionally read question letter C subpart I, which is the only part.
It's the most amazing transition we've ever had on this podcast. I salute you, sir.
This question made me nervous whenever I very first skimmed it. It says, "Hey guys, if you were ever to be arrested, what would be the most likely reason?" But he has a note down here, which is a very important note. He says, "P.S."
No, we can skip. We don't have enough time for the note.
I think
we
do.
Move on.
I think we do.
No,
He says,
I think...
Excuse me. He says, "I don't usually pick my favorites, but since Snow was the only one to really answer my question last time, he's now officially my favorite capital guy on the podcast. Hashtag keep Snow 2015. Keep it trending, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much."
Wow. Well, you know what, monkeys? I don't need you. I have Fojo Mojo, Jojo, Fojo Mojo.
Where is your Fojo now?
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't heard from Mojo Fojo a couple of episodes in a row. I'm concerned.
I'm his favorite, though.
That is true. Nobody likes me.
It's just because you're the chunkiest.
Single tier. I think of the three of us, I'm the chunkiest. But anyway, we don't need to get into that.
So why have you guys been arrested before?
What would I be arrested for?
Accidentally building a bomb with your computer?
I think what it would be is when eventually the government turns evil.
Eventually.
Yeah. Like and they're like hunting down people who like still live in freedom and all that. I'm gonna be like one of the people who are on the run, and like I'm one of the freedom fighters, and then I'd get arrested and probably executed.
That's so valiant/violent.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
It's violent.
That's pretty violent.
I definitely know the reason why I'm about to be arrested, and that is because I'm about to murder our dry cleaners because they lost. I had 3 button-down shirts. I can't remember if I've told this story on the podcast. It was one day I had 3 button-down shirts, and I've had those 3 button-down shirts for maybe a year or so. Nice button-down shirts. I paid good money for those. And I somehow ripped the sleeve of one of them at work one day, like a 4-inch rip, so I just threw that one away. And I got the other two dry cleaned, so I'd have them clean so I could wear them, I don't know, 2 or 3 times before I had to get them dry cleaned again. And they lost both shirts. So I went from having 3 button-down shirts to 0 button-down shirts in the course of like 48 hours. And that was at the end of December, and they still have not refunded us any money. And supposedly they can only refund up to 10 times the price that we paid to get those shirts dry cleaned, which was $1.50.
Wow.
So they're only going to pay me $15 a piece when they were like, I don't know, they were expensive shirts that I had tailored and everything.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah. I'm angry. I'm going to murder. That's why I'm going to jail. Please bail me out.
Well, Slash, why would you get arrested?
I don't really know, because I'm so boring.
That's what they all say.
I would either be arrested because I finally lost it at work and the whole place just went up in flames, Office Space style. Or I'll tell you, the way that I'd like to be arrested, I don't know if I've ever told this story before, but the Misha Collins, who's an actor on Supernatural, he once got arrested because he was reading a book on the roof of a bank at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I do that too sometimes.
Yeah. I'm not sure what his motivation. Apparently, he thought that he could get better lighting from the I guess the street lights or something if he went up on the roof. But and it happened to be a bank. He probably wasn't even aware that it was a bank. But like somebody spots him sitting on the roof of a bank at 1 o'clock in the morning, thinks bank robbery, calls the cops, and they haul him off. But he was just there reading a book. So I think that if I was to be arrested, I would want to be arrested for something like absolutely ridiculous that would make a fantastic story.
Yeah, like it'd make it into Preston and Steve's Bizarre File, and you guys probably don't know who Preston and Steve are, but
nope.
Reference lost.
Yeah. It's
and with that lost reference, we have lost the
radio
podcast. It's gone off the rails.
It's missing, just like SnoShoe
podcast.
shirts.
My shirts are missing. Fresh wounds. I didn't get to mention this quick side note. Whenever we were talking about weather, on Saturday, I was outside playing basketball. T-shirt, shorts, perfect weather, 75 degrees. Today, ice storm. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, there's snow on the ground right now.
You're lucky you continued with today ice storm, because otherwise the reason I would be arrested is because I was going to kill you for living in nice weather.
No, it is very cold right now.
Well, we've got instant frostbite advisories.
Yeah, with wind chill of like -14 or something.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, ridiculous.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. You enjoy your warmer weather.
It's not that much warmer currently.
It's warmer.
Yeah,
It is.
It is a comparative statement.
What is
that
it down
accurate.
there?
According to my phone, it is 24 degrees right now.
That's nice. I think it's single digits out right now. I would have to get up and look.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely much colder than that here.
Okay, well, I would call that a
so
full
we're
circle.
off to murder snow.
We started and ended with weather.
Full
Indeed,
circle.
we did.
Yep.
The most interesting of all topics.
So if you guys just want to go back to the beginning and listen all over again, that's fine with us.
Exactly.
actually
We've left
play
you a
this
perfect
podcast-
transition. Yeah, we've got a perfect transition back to the beginning of the
We
podcast,
do.
and now you can just set us on endless loop.
If you are tired
And
of sitting on your couch, listen to Dem Guys podcast.
Yes, or you can start at the end of the podcast and play it backwards while listening to Wizard of Oz, and
yes,
it works. I don't know how.
it does.
It does.
It's fantastic.
You may have to be on acid, but it works.
Don't do drugs.
Too bad.
Or you'll get arrested.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that was a fitting ending.